out the series. Way of the Warrior had been the first exception, except that it was partially meant to reintroduce DS9 to the audience with the addition of warp and the rejiggering of the status quo. So it was, in a sense, the second pilot to kick off this new DS9. Dark Frontier, however, was created specifically to be a Voyager movie, not a two-parter, not an adjustment to the series. They are full-length, large-scope television film. The previous year, The Killing Game was a two-parter, with both parts being aired on the same night during sweeps, and it had done so well in the ratings that it was justifiable to try this experiment. The first half was directed by Cliff Bole, who directed both parts of The Best of Both Worlds. This was his last Star Trek episode. The second half was directed by newcomer Terry Windell, who would go on to direct Lifeline, which we've already covered, and Survival Instinct, which would again serve as a significant 7 of 9 character episode, and an only one where we suddenly tack a stupid human lesson onto any old episode and treat it like it's hers, but one specifically intended to explore who she was. Dark Frontier is a similar episode, one that fully explores how Annika Hansen wound up becoming 7 of 9. As such, this episode gives me an opportunity to more thoroughly discuss her throughout these 3 parts. As I've said previously, I love you, Elizabeth. I wanted to like this show. The problem was, it wasn't willing to meet me halfway by being good. I watched it through the first season, and it felt like it was something, but I stuck with it. Halfway through the second season, I finally just gave up. I continued with DS9, but I just left Voyager cold turkey and never thought twice about it again. It wasn't until May of '97 that I returned briefly, and even then only at the prompting of my former roommate, who was amused by Janeway making a decision so bad that Felix questioned it. And that was in Scorpion. It was only half a year after First Contact, so the idea of checking out a Borg episode was appealing, even if it was on Voyager. So I decided to stick around for the second half before leaving again. Because I hadn't been following the show, I had no idea there was going to be a cast change, so I was surprised to discover the female drone alive at the end of Scorpion. I watched the gift just to see what would happen to her, and then, as planned, left. But later, I happened to flip by when the Raven was on. That was when Seven convinced me to give the show another chance. She had very appealing qualities. And since the people who ran the show either had no soul or lost it in a tragic accident, I have to explain that this is not because of the feminine assets that are on display. On the contrary, I'd have preferred she spent the first season wearing a Borg suit. Not necessarily full makeup, but at least keeping much of the suit and implants and having removed them as a conscious step forward on her part rather than some kind of imposed change upon her. Let's get into the episode itself. A Borg probe ship is found Voyager and is moving in for assimilation. Not a cube, not a sphere, no, it's the rarely seen almond joy model. This little one is actually of comparable power to Voyager, so it's even fight for once. Did you hear 3 was turned into a can opener? Can opener, huh? Well, he deserved that promotion. Voyager knocks down the ship's shield and then beams over a photon torpedo. This drone does the important job of staring at the blinking lights until it explodes. I suppose he's trying to disarm it. While I'm not a super genius cyborg collective, it seems to me it might have been quicker to just beam it away yourself. Certainly faster than Speedy Gonzalez here. The Voyager crew's surprised their torpedo actually managed to blow something up, and everything needs to now be checked over.
Check either.
None.
Debris status.
I'm fine, thanks for asking. Being so powerful as to blow up a Borg ship on accident makes Janeway feel like luck's smiling on her, so she orders them to start salvaging what they can from the remains.
Now that is how I prefer the Borg. In pieces.
Didn't you say the same thing about the Kazons, the Vidians, and the Krenim?
And uppity first officers. Go find my last one if you need proof.
They start picking through stuff. Love the Chakotay. I've wanted one of these all my life.
It's a coffee maker that's also a Borg.
The doctor's extremely excited about what he's found. An arm. I really hope that's an arm. All this is making Chakotay nervous. Maybe I should go to Red Alert and get it over with.
Commander.
You're about to drop one of your bomb shells.
Oh, I see. All right, before you say anything, first of all, it's a mutant, not a monster. Second, nothing can break those chains. And third, since I only made one, if you kill it, that's technically genocide. And technically suicide. No, you're the crazy one.
Tom and Harry head into the mess hall after it's over to celebrate with some very manly and heterosexual beers to offset their touching and hushed words. Tom fumbles his charisma roll as Seven comes in.
I would have loved to have seen the look on their faces. Boom! To be honest, I wish the boom had been a bit smaller. We were only trying to save the world. They were drones, Harry. Mindless automatons. You did them a favor.
The purpose of this is twofold, as a reminder that most of the drones we're likely to see are just as much victims as anyone else, and that Seven is still separating the truth to some degree. In fact, she's just like that doesn't help. She scans through some of the data that they got from the wreckage and discovers where nearby ships are, including the Dangerous Sphere. Well, Janeway figures a good way to continue to spread the value of the Federation is to board other people's ships and steal their technology. So, for those of you keeping score, buying technology on the black market to get home is unacceptable. Stealing it is perfectly fine. It's the Janeway way. Also, am I the only one that finds it ironic that on this DVD, where our heroes, the enlightened members of the Federation who follow Federation principles and do not question their decision to perform piracy, has an anti-piracy warning on it. Paramount cares more about internet piracy than actual piracy. Janeway christens the plan Operation Fort Knox, having Tom explain that Fort Knox was a place so secure no one ever broke in. Well, what better name than one implying certain failure, huh? What were your backup plans, Janeway, huh? Operation Chernobyl, Operation Titanic, Operation Enterprise in fifth season? Shirley plans to create holodeck simulations for practice, and Torres to use, quote, monkey tricks to match their engines, but Starfleet might not approve. You've been stranded on the other side of the galaxy for 5 years. How long did it take for you to figure that out? Janeway also decides to take Seven aside afterwards to discuss the Raven. We haven't really looked at that episode specifically, but all you really need to know for our purposes is that that was the ship that brought Annika and her parents here until she was assimilated. She wants Seven to look over all the notes they left behind to see if there's any info to help them in their piracy. Seven thinks they're not going to be much help, and it's a bit difficult to argue with someone who's half robot now because of screwed up.
But is it true? Parents were studying before.
Yes, and these were exobiology.
Fascinating. They must have been very courageous.
Yeah, right up until someone was grafting metal fibers onto their 7-year-old daughter's spine. Do you have anything more to add, Prairie Dog, or can I get back to work? The pad triggers a flashback of her father talking about them planning to leave to go looking for the Borg. This is more than a decade before Q2, so the Borg were limited to rumors, reports from the Elorian refugee Scotty saved, and the notes of Dr. Phlox, which were incomplete since he was gunned down by green assassins.
We're not sure exactly, but we think they might look a lot like us, but with technology inside their bodies.
Boy, she got a good vocabulary for a 4-year-old. We soon see her on board the Raven, lamenting to her parents that she can't sleep, but it's interrupted when the cube appears.
Field magnitude 2.9 terracontents in fact. Monica,
Ben. But I said I can't sleep. You piss off, kid. The cube scans them, but since their ship is small and rather primitive, they're ignored. Wow, that's fortunate. Hey, you know what sounds like a great idea? Following it. That won't end badly. Okay, easy to joke about. They didn't really know what they were dealing with here. And now we know better. Anyway, Seven's getting back to the present and they find a Borg sphere. Hey, you know what sounds like a great idea? Following it. That won't end badly. I do like Cliff Bowles' handling of the reveal, though. The image of Janeway in the foreground of the scanner with the looming Borg ship harkens back to the one of the cube at Best of Both Worlds. Okay, so they started a simulation again to practice. Hey, Seven, welcome back. Your 3 got promoted? Can't open her first class, lucky bastard. The plan is to disable the sensor net, give them 2 minutes to sneak in, use charges to take down the shields while transport enhancers are set up around the transport coil, and that way Tom can beat them out. Yes, Tom. Have there been so many casualties in the transporter room that there are no transporter chiefs left? Harry, Torres, and now the guy who's piloting the ship. The transporter chief exists solely to be shot by the bad guys? No wonder O'Brien was anxious to work on DS9. So they beam it out, but not actually connected to anything. No, you had the power of transport inside you all the time. You just needed to find it for yourself. Well, they run out of time, and suddenly the Borg can now sense them. And all the drones they were walking past, they have eyes, don't they? Or did the Borg assimilate the umpire?